Hey Yappers, welcome back to Binge Repeat. Summer is back. We are diving into the Amazon Prime Video series Every Year After. We discuss everything about the show, from the cringe ice cream scene, the big reveal between Charlie and Percy, Chantal's compulsion to mention the law every chance she gets, the similarities to another teen summer show, and more. If you read the book, please let us know in the comments how you liked this adaptation. Buckle in because our episode starts now.
Hello, Yappers, and welcome back to another episode of Binge Yap Repeat. I'm your host, Ruchi.
And I'm Shalini.
And today's episode is all about the Amazon Prime Video series Every Year After, based on the novel Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Every Year After is an American romantic drama television series developed by Amy B. Harris and Leela Gerstein. The series was released on Amazon Prime Video on June 10th, 2026. It stars Sadie Soverall as Percy Fraser, a 28-year-old obit writer who goes back to her childhood summer hometown, Barry's Bay, British Columbia, Canada, for a funeral and reconnects with her estranged childhood friends, Sam and Charlie Florrick.
Okay, about Sadie Soverall, did you notice her British accent ever?
Sometimes, yeah. Okay, I noticed that she had some kind of an accent because sometimes when she said, I think it was like Barry's Bay, sometimes it would sound a little different. And I was like, is this like a slight Canadian accent or is this something different? Like, what's going on here? But I didn't know that she was British. So great job with the accent.
Yeah, I feel like for the most part, I didn't notice it at all. There was just one scene when she and the other two girls go to her old childhood home in Barry's Bay, and they're on the floor chatting, and then she said something like, I agree, or if blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why did she add an R to the end of agree? But that's a British thing. Yeah, part of the British accent.
I agree, or if. Wait, what?
You know how in British accents, if the one word ends in a vowel and the next word starts with a vowel, they add an R in between the words.
I did not know that. Wait, how do you say this then in a British accent? Like, how does that manifest?
I'm getting in my head about this British accent. If I had to think about it, I would agree if blah, 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 blah.
I've never noticed that before.
Really?
Yeah. But then you said that in the show, she says, I agree, or if.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
so
agreeer.
Strange. That's so
Also,
strange.
I don't know if agree was actually the word, but like that was the idea.
Okay, so I did not read the book Every Summer After, but I noticed that there were quite a lot of similarities with another Amazon Prime Video show, The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. Almost like weirdly similar. So I looked this up actually. So apparently the author Carly Fortune, she did say that she took a lot of inspiration from Jenny Han's The Summer I Turned Pretty. So there are a lot of intentional similarities, I would say. But I think as someone who has only watched Amazon Prime Video for The Summer I Turned Pretty and is now watching Every Year After, I was very confused. I was like, does APV only do these kinds of like young adult summer novel book adaptations turned series about two brothers and a girl? So I was very confused by that.
Yeah. I think they were just trying to like further capitalize on the fame that The Summer I Turned Pretty had. So they're like, how can we take this and put it over here?
So what I wanted to do was I wanted to play a game with you, and I wanted to play this hot potato style game where I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock and we just go back and forth talking about each naming a similarity with The Summer I Turned Pretty and Every Year After.
Sounds great.
Okay,
Can't wait.
I'm gonna put 30 seconds on the timer.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, do you want to go first?
Okay, sure.
Okay, all right, let me count you down. 3, 2, 1.
2 brothers, 1 girl who's a family friend.
Brother goes to Stanford.
Brother is a doctor at Stanford.
Other brother works in finance.
Their mom dies.
Their mom's name is Sue.
Oh,
Xana.
the girl had a weird, close relationship with the dead mom.
Mom had a weird, close relationship with her 2 sons.
The setting is a waterfront summer house.
Main character has an unconventional female nickname.
Older brother sees her as a kid until she's like 16 or 17.
Oh, time. Dang. Okay, I actually had so many more.
Oh my gosh.
What other things that come to mind? There is drama around the sale of a property in the show.
Oh yeah. So true. Also, the younger brother has always been her best friend, quote unquote.
That's a good one. What else? Oh, mom dies from cancer.
Yep. Best friend is like a girly, sassy character. I feel like Taylor and Delilah were the same character.
There is a Taylor.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, also best friend vibes with the Asian guy.
So true.
Asian guy is the voice of reason. So
Token
many.
non-white characters.
Okay, yeah, let me see what else I had. I literally was like writing down all the similarities, and this was what my notebook looked like.
Oh my god.
Okay, what else do I got? Small town summer vibes next to a body of water.
Yep.
Main character loves swimming.
Yep.
Weird brother sexual tension. Time skips. Brother's last name starts with F.
Good one. Oh, they're Fisher. That's right. Okay, and this one was Floric.
Fisher and
And
Floric.
Percy is Fraser.
Oh yeah, wait. Fraser. Florek. They're all 6-letter F names. Time skips, visited only during the summer, years-long estrangement, brothers pushing each other into water and fighting.
Oh, drama mid-season over the holidays when it's not summer.
Yeah, there you go. Top 40 background music.
Dude, okay, I want to talk about the soundtrack. Music budget was through the roof, but notably missing Taylor Swift. Like, notably, I thought.
Oh.
Compared to The Summer I Turned Pretty, which like 40% of the songs were Taylor Swift.
That is very true. Yeah, I wonder why that is. I thought there was at least one Taylor Swift song. Was there not?
I don't think so. I don't think I noticed any.
Well, you would be the expert on that. I believe you.
But yeah, it was literally like all of my personal other top artists. Gracie Abrams, Noah Kahan, Billie Eilish, Maggie Rogers, Lizzie McAlpine. Who else?
That was my vote. Lizzie McAlpine.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, love her songs.
Wait, I wrote down more.
Oh, brooding dark hair and blue eyes.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Somber. Also.
Oh, yes, somber.
Ariana Grande.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Should we talk about the actual plot, I guess?
Yeah, sure. Ruchi, if you were willed a tavern, basically, if you were in Percy's situation and you had this weird relationship with the brothers, what do you think you would have done with the property?
If my weird friends, no, I shouldn't say that. If my estranged once crush's mom left me her tavern in a will in a town that I could move to, would I take it? Is that okay?
Correct.
Honestly, yeah, why not? I don't think there was anything really keeping Percy in Seattle. She had a very cute apartment, may
So
I
cute.
add. Very aesthetic. Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like if I was getting a lot of writing inspiration being in that town, and then this is something that would provide me monetary relief while also being in that town, yeah, why not? I will say though, it seems like running a tavern is a lot of hard work. And like, how much downtime do you really have to write if you're running a tavern?
Totally. And also like I'm sure there's a big seasonal fluctuation in their income. So that sounds hard to navigate too. Like operating a tavern in a summer town.
Yeah. But maybe it's like you don't have to. I'm assuming that the tavern is all paid for. So there's no like rent or mortgage that you really have to take into account. So it's really just like how do you cover your own maintenance fees, I guess, and like
Yeah. Like labor and stuff.
yeah, like labor. Okay, speaking of labor, at the end of the episode or at the end of the series in the very last episode, they're showing the tavern kind of running under Delilah and Percy's leadership and it seems like they have two employees and it's Percy and Delilah. Percy's manning the bar, Percy's washing the dishes, Delilah is being the hostess. Like, what is going on? Oh, okay. I guess there was like that one new person who was taking orders.
Yes. And I think there were people at the hostess stand that she was also like giving advice to.
Okay. So there's maybe four employees, but still at the
Perhaps.
very end when Percy was washing the dishes, I was like, girl, you gotta hire someone for
Yeah.
that. Like, there is no way. Like, that's why there's a 45-minute wait at this tavern. You can't wash the
Seriously.
dishes fast enough.
Also, this is what you did when you were like 14 years old and you're still washing the dishes. Hire a 14-year-old.
Maybe it's cathartic. It's
Maybe
cathartic for her to wash these dishes
by hand.
by hand. That's how you get all
Crazy.
the crustiness off.
Hmm. Um, what did you think of the reveal that the reason she left and never came back and, kind of like ended things with Sam after for 10 whole years. What did you think of that reveal that the reason she did that was because she slept with the older brother, Charlie?
Dude, I felt like they were edging us so hard this entire series. And by the time it actually was revealed, which by the way was an off-screen reveal
Yeah.
between episodes, I was like went backwards. I was like, did I miss something? Like, what's going on? And then when it was an off-screen reveal, it felt a little bit, I don't know. I don't know what the right word is. Underwhelming, maybe? I think it was underwhelming because then everyone in the show knew what was going on, but then the audience didn't know. And so it was very much like, okay, literally everyone knows already. Just tell us. Like everyone
Right.
in the show is operating under the same assumption except for us. Like you might as well just tell us at this point. And I guess like they did in like just a few scenes, but it still was like I wanted to know the exact moment. Like, I wanted to know exactly how Sam would have reacted to receiving that piece of news.
Yeah, seriously. I also feel like they teased it in a way in the previous episode, or maybe just earlier in that same episode, where it was almost like that's what they wanted us to think happened, but actually we were going to find out it was something else. Like when Charlie comes to Delilah's door and then he sees that Percy is there and he was like, "You know what I regret? I regret 10 years ago, blah blah blah." And she's like, "We can't tell them, Charlie." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, they're making it seem like they slept together, but that's probably not it because they're making it obviously seem like that." But then that was the whole reveal. So I think that's also why it was so underwhelming because they were like teasing it for a while in a way that made you think, okay, actually this can't be it because that's what the whole audience is thinking it is, but then it actually was.
Yeah. I will say that this is probably the biggest departure from the book. So while I did not read the book, I did look up some of the differences. So apparently, in the book, Charlie tells Sam soon after it actually happens. So Sam, when by the time Percy comes back to Barry's Bay after 10 years, Sam has already gone through the 5 stages of grief in the 10 years and has like come to terms with his feelings about it and has already accepted um whatever Percy and Charlie did. So he like knows everything by the time Percy comes back to Barry's Bay.
Interesting. So then
Yes.
what's the drama after she comes back
I think the drama is that Percy doesn't know
that he knows?
that he knows.
Okay. Because I was talking to our friend Jing about this, she read the book also. Um, and she was saying, yeah, what she was telling me was that it was like a really lame reveal because it sounded like Percy, once Percy returned and she tried to rekindle things with Sam was already over it. Everything was out in the open, but then she just like felt guilty and self-sabotaged, which I think is not as interesting. I'm really glad they made this change in the show because also, yappers, if we got that wrong, please let us know. But I thought the story at least made sense in the show where, she's like, "Oh no, I still have feelings for him, but I did something so horrible and he has no idea." And then he comes to her and he's like, "Let's try this for real, like no secrets." And then that's how it gets revealed. So I thought everything was like pretty plausible in that way.
I think that makes sense. I think what I struggle with is Sam as a likable character.
Yeah, that's a separate issue.
I think that was the part that was really missing for me. I'm like, why should we at all feel sorry for this man who is consistently like ghosting Percy, breaking up with her, prioritizing school over her constantly, breaks up with her over email, and then is partying with other girls who pick up his phone?
Yeah, that was super
That's so
sus.
weird. I was like, how in the world does Sam even deserve this woman? Like, why
Yeah,
is she so caught up on this trash guy?
dude, yeah, like she needs to move on. They should not get back together. From what they showed in the show, like, no, she deserves way better than him. And okay, also, I hate this trope of a man like proposing to someone to prove to himself that he's over the other person, and then once that person says no, immediately running to the original girl.
Hate
I
it.
hate it.
Hate it.
I hate it. It's so stupid and like I just don't know why it works. You know? Like why would OG girl say yes when she knows that he was just proposed he thought he was going to marry someone else 5 minutes ago. So annoying. Ugh.
So this is other big differences with the book. Apparently what happens in the book is Sam is dating Taylor, but like literally the night that Percy comes to Barry's Bay after 10 years in when she's 28, he breaks up with Taylor.
Okay.
So
That's more
that's like,
respectable.
yeah, that's more respectable. Also, it wasn't like a serious thing at all. Like proposal was not in question. It was not on the table. It was just like, oh, this is my girlfriend. And then like Percy's back. I still have feelings for Percy. And then like ending it with Taylor. So there's like that was one thing. The other thing is that in the book, in the email, he doesn't actually break up with her. Or maybe he does, but he's not like cold turkey, let's call it off. He's basically saying, hey, I still want to chat like once a week to like have a maintainable relationship with my
Yeah.
workload, but he doesn't like end it.
Mm.
He's like, oh, I want to like put the relationship on pause or something like that. But he still wants to have open communication. And then Percy like reacts the way that she does. She does end up sleeping with Charlie, but then realizing that like it was a huge mistake.
Mm.
But yeah, like I think these are all
Interesting.
things I'm like, these
It
are
definitely
interesting.
changes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting changes.
I feel like the book made Sam more likable and Percy less likable. And the show
Yes.
is like Percy's
Everyone's
choices pretty
unlikable.
much make sense. No, I thought Percy made sense.
I found everyone to be unlikable. And I think I found Percy to be unlikable because she was accepting of a man that would do this to her.
Oh, more for that. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That she was just like super hung up on him, even though he did all this shit to her.
Yeah, even though
Yeah.
he was just like treated her like shit and like almost gave her no reason to still have feelings for him.
Yeah, that is true. But I feel like in terms of her choices, besides her continuously going back to Sam, her choices outside of Sam made sense to me as a character.
What would those choices be?
Like, just her character choices of, the being in a funk, but then, like, Charlie kind of pulling her out of it, and then her becoming friends with Charlie, and, like, it was actually I guess that's not really a choice of hers, but I don't know, just she as a character made sense to me, whereas Sam as a character made me angry.
I think she as a character did not make sense to me because Sam made me angry. I will
Okay.
maintain that.
Okay. That is fair.
I also was upset at Charlie because Charlie was like, "This is your mistake." And I'm like, "It takes two to tango, buddy." Have some accountability here. You're also the older brother.
When did we see him saying, "This is all on you"? Because I feel like he acknowledged saying that at the end, but I don't think I remember him actually saying that. I thought he was just like, "We can't tell him."
Yeah, I think it was like, we can't tell him. And then also being upset at her for coming back to Barry's Bay, even though she was like, "You called me." And he's like, "Why did you come here?" Yeah, I think like all of that, like blaming Percy also for their mistake, also for coming back to Barry's Bay and bringing it up again. I think he was like really blaming her for all of those things. And I'm like, you got to take some accountability here at some
Huh.
point. Like there's also you very much involved in these mistakes that you're blaming her for.
Okay, I actually disagree, but maybe I'm forgetting stuff. But what I remember is him A, inviting her, B, saying that he shouldn't have invited her, which is on him. Like, he's acknowledging that he shouldn't have done that. So that's on him. He's not blaming her. And then I don't remember him blaming her for them sleeping together. I do remember him blaming her for telling Sam that they slept together, which I thought also made sense from his perspective. And then at the end, he acknowledges that he shouldn't have put it all on her. But I'm like, when did you put it all on her? Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's what I
mean,
remember.
yeah, I think it's also worth pointing out that I think his mom asked him to invite Barry. Or sorry, to invite Percy. To invite Percy back
Yeah,
to Barry's Bay. I don't know how in her not in her will,
probably just on her
on
deathbed.
her deathbed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
to
was like, I
invite
really want
Percy.
Percy at my funeral or memorial. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, also, why did Sue leave the tavern to Percy?
Because she's the daughter she never had.
That's fucked up. I would have been so mad if I was Sam or Charlie. Like they were mad. But like honestly, you haven't seen this random girl for 10 years and you're going to leave her your legacy?
Okay, okay, to be fair, I actually think this made sense to me because of that one scene that they had together where they had like an entire summer together, right? Where like Charlie had left, um who's the other, oh my god,
Sam.
Sam. Charlie had left, Sam had left, and so it was really just Percy and Sue together for basically that whole summer working on the tavern. And I don't think that Sue had that kind of close working relationship with any of her other two boys. So I
Mm.
think it made sense because we saw that scene where Sue is wearing the tiara, she's wearing the crown. And I think in her mind, she's like, neither of the boys will want this. Like, Charlie just wants to make a ton of money and work in finance. Sam wants to be a doctor, and he's like in California at Stanford. So Like, there's no one here. Like, none of my boys even want to be saddled
Mm.
with this tavern. Like, what are they going to do? They're just going to immediately sell it because their lives aren't here anymore. But you know who is here, and you know who actually does want to be here? Percy.
She's not there. She hasn't been there for 10 years.
No, but that's because of, like, the mistake with her and Charlie. But, like, that
Yeah, but
summer...
Sue doesn't know that.
Wait, no. Like, during, like, when they were working together, after the mistake had already been done, like, they
Uh-huh.
were working together, and they were like, she was like, "Oh, Percy, like, I've seen you grow up in this town, and, like, I know that you love it here, and, like, you actually want to have ties to this place."
Yeah, but 10 years later when she's actually dying, and this all happened 10 years ago, she's still like, I will leave it to the girl that hasn't been here in 10 years. That I had a connection with one summer.
Because of the conversation with Percy's dad. Yeah.
Oh, with Percy's dad?
With Percy's dad in 2021. That's when she changed the will.
Okay. So 5 years after 5 years after Percy's last summer, 5 years before Percy returns. And can you remind me what the conversation was?
I think so. Percy and her dad were having a conversation where Percy's like, I don't know why she would leave this to me. And then her dad was basically saying that you always felt the most inspired when you were in Barry's Bay. Like, I've never seen you like write that much before, and like you need to be in Barry's Bay. And then I think her dad and Sue had a conversation where Sue like wanted to leave her the tavern. I can't exactly remember like what that conversation was or like what the dad alluded to, but it
Mm.
basically was saying that like the reason that she left you this tavern is because you need to be in Barry's Bay in order to
Oh, okay.
be the writer that I know you can be.
I see. Okay. I guess that makes a little more sense. I was afraid I think I was just influenced by The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I was afraid that the mom's agenda was to get Percy back so that she would end up with one of her boys. Because Susanna Fisher, that was always her agenda. To just throw Belly with the boys until one of them gets married. So I think I was just like always suspicious of that, of like, why her? Why are you re-entangling their lives like this?
I mean, who's to say that wasn't also a secret agenda? It could be. It could very well be. I think it's also worth noting that Sue, I don't know, it seems like Sue didn't make the best decisions generally. Although I don't know exactly how to talk about this because it seemed like she was obviously going through a lot of grief when her husband died, when the
Hmm.
boy's dad died. Oh, another similarity. Dad's not in the picture.
Well, their dad was there. He
Yeah,
was
but
like
not
kind of
really.
absent, but yeah,
Yeah,
I guess.
dad's most of the time not in the picture.
Mm.
Um anyway, yeah, she was grieving for a year. She like didn't do a lot of stuff for that year that she was grieving, and then Charlie basically held that against her um for basically his whole life. Uh which feels a little unfair, but maybe Charlie also realizes that.
I didn't think he held that against her. I think he was just like, he just kind of took on the onus as the big brother to like help out. But do you think he resented her for it?
I think so because he had that conversation with Sam where Sam was like, "Oh, why would she do this?" Sam was like, "Oh yeah, why would mom do this? She was always so organized. She always like had her shit together. She was just like the best mom ever." And Charlie was like, actually, there was a year where she was grieving and I had to do the grocery shopping at age 14."
Okay, I guess I did not interpret that as resentment and more just like, Sam, you don't even know what I have done for this family because you were a kid, which is fine, but like let me tell you what happened actually. But
Mm.
I didn't really interpret that as resenting the mom. I don't know.
I think maybe it wasn't resentment, but I think it was like our mom was human and she,
Yeah.
like all humans, can make mistakes. And this thing about leaving the tavern to Percy is another big mistake that she has made.
Mm,
Which is
yeah.
like, is that resentment? Kinda.
If I was them, I would definitely resent her for leaving the tavern to Percy.
For sure. Yeah. And for what it's worth, I do think that it is wild for her to have left the tavern, but I'm glad that we at least saw a scene
Yeah.
about their relationship beyond the fact that this is my, these are my, or like, this girl is my boy's like best friend or something.
Right, right. Yeah, I agree. I feel like, okay, I don't want to keep comparing this to The Summer I Turned Pretty, but in The Summer I Turned Pretty, it made a little bit more sense because I feel like they showed more history between Susanna and Belly than they did in this show. And
Yeah.
Susanna was a much more prevalent part of the show than Sue was in this show. And so anytime they showed Sue and Percy, it just kind of seemed a little bit forced, I thought, where it's like they're just like forcing these connection moments where it's like, oh, I have my period. Oh my gosh, let me hug you. And then, but like we didn't see any of the relationship building behind that.
Yeah, I agree. I think there was a little bit of missing details there. I felt like we only really got that one scene with them cooking together where we really
Yeah.
understood their relationship more rather than just like, oh, this is a neighborly mother figure who anyone would do what Sue did in that moment. Um, I have other things to talk about. The ice cream scene.
Yes, tell me your thoughts.
Yes, can we talk about the ice cream scene? So I think what happened is that there is a specific scene in the book where Sam is licking Sam is licking Percy's ice cream, and it's supposed to be the super hot moment between the two of them. But the way that they showed it in the show, yeah, it was like, dude, get off my ice cream, like, please. And then he just like literally like licks the entire ice cream and then is like, it was dripping. Haha. I would be like, this is yours now. Have it your way. You
Yeah.
obviously wanted my ice cream from the beginning. Just like take it. Now that your cooties are all over it.
It was not a sexy lick. They should have shown like one drop cascading down and then him going like just once.
Once. One
Once.
lick.
Been like, it was dripping.
Whoa. You got me. And instead, we had 4 to 5.
Like, not even, it was like a golden retriever licking peanut butter. It was not a dainty, sexy lick.
Just some slurping ASMR for you yappers. Yeah, I think it was at that moment that I got the ick for this show.
Yeah, fair. Fair. I have a question. Did we see a reaction from Delilah after finding out that Percy and Charlie slept together? Or do you think she knew the whole time?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think we got a reaction from her.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. I was like, maybe I missed it. But for a lot of the show, I guess after we find out what happened, I was waiting for there to be a fallout between Delilah and Percy because Delilah's obviously into Charlie and like was into Charlie their entire childhood. That's the other thing. I'm like, why is Delilah always here? She doesn't live here. Also, why does she have a house here now?
Same. Oh my gosh. Okay, I am embarrassed to say this, but it actually took me so long, probably halfway through the season, to realize that this was only a summer thing. Because they were like, oh, new neighbor. And I was like, oh, okay, she's moved there.
Right.
It's like, no, this is a summer house situation. Excuse me. As a non-homeowner myself, I cannot conceive of people having multiple houses.
Seriously.
But
Yeah.
anyway, so I was confused because then I was like, okay, now Delilah is visiting. How does she even have a friend who other people don't know?
I know. I know. It was just odd. I was like, how are you spending your holidays with this person? How are your parents letting you leave the country over winter holidays as a 16-year-old? And like, why are you spending every single summer there? Where are you staying? They also didn't really show that
They didn't. I didn't even think about where she was staying. I assumed that she was staying with
with
Percy.
Percy.
Yeah,
Maybe, but they don't really show any like moments between the two of them.
they don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very odd.
It
Very
was
odd.
also odd because I think the way that they introduced Delilah in the first place was like low-key frenemy,
Yeah.
which was like, well, why are you inviting your frenemy then to stay with
Yeah.
you during
It
the
was
summer?
so confusing. So confusing.
Very confusing.
She should have I don't even know why there was a need for that. They could have just introduced her as, "Oh, this is my best friend."
Yeah, like
That wouldn't have
my
changed anything.
but she was saying like my best friend who like makes me carry her stuff.
What was the need for
I
that?
don't know. I'm very confused by that.
I think it would have been a more interesting story for us to see in present day her and Delilah meeting and it being super awkward. And then you see a flashback where Percy's like, "This is Delilah. She's my best friend." And you're like, "Oh, what happened?"
Yeah, that would have been interesting. And then I guess I was also really confused as to why Delilah decided to move to Barry's Bay or like stay in Barry's Bay.
Yeah, mystery.
Because I think like when they first introduced her, you're like, okay, this is Delilah. She lives in Barry's Bay. But then going back in time, it was like, oh, Delilah's just visiting. She doesn't actually live in Barry's Bay. She has no connection to this town other than through my friendship.
Yep.
It's very
It's so
confusing to me.
confusing. So confusing.
What did you think about the character progression of Delilah, though, over the course of the series?
Mm, I liked that they kind of addressed why she was kind of mean girly, where, it was obviously just a projection of her insecurities because she was super unhappy in her marriage. So right out the gate, she kind of came in as like really judgmental of where Percy was in life and, all of that. And then by the end, you see that like she's just a girl. And her divorce or like her marriage has been really hard on her. So I thought the present day progression made a lot of sense to me. I think the flashback progression did not make a lot of sense to me because I don't know if they were trying to tease that she is kind of into Jordy, but like Charlie will always take priority over that. But they didn't really develop that plot line very much.
I
So I was
have
a
a
little
feeling
confused.
I have a feeling they left it open for future seasons. I feel like they left a lot open for future seasons.
Yeah.
So like we didn't really get a clear resolution with Percy and Sam, for example. Um, Even though at the end of the book, I think it's like Percy and Sam are living together and Percy is gonna propose to Sam. So that was one thing.
Mm.
And with the whole like Delilah, Geordie, Chantal situation, I thought was very interesting because I think what they did is basically they took Taylor from The Summer I Turned Pretty and broke her out into two separate characters, and then still they both had a thing with Geordie, which I thought was very interesting.
Yes. That was
Um,
very interesting.
yeah, so I wonder if the ship is actually supposed to be Delilah and Geordie in the end and not Chantal and Geordie.
I do, yeah, maybe, maybe. Also, I just remembered another similarity between The Summer I Turned Pretty. New token black friend made in college.
You're right. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I do want to talk about more about Chantal, Geordie. I guess mostly those two characters and not really anything more about Delilah. But one question is how does international travel work? Because I am pretty sure that your passport has to be valid for the next 3 months in order to, like, 3 months minimum in order to enter a new country. Is that not how it works for Canada?
I don't know. I thought it was 6 months.
I think it's yeah, you're right. Okay,
Maybe it
it is
depends on the country.
maybe it depends. And so like that's why I was like maybe Canada is different, but that being said, it still feels really weird that a border patrol agent from US to Canada would let you in. I assuming they're checking even people who are driving into Canada. I assume there are checks in place. And it feels weird that the border patrol agent would be like, "Hey, your passport expires tomorrow, but like you can go in, I guess."
Come on in.
Like, you're one of us
Yeah.
now.
That was so stupid. They for the budget that went into the music on this show, they could have put a little bit more effort into Chantal as a character. Her plot, her lines, the fact that she mentioned how she's a lawyer every single chance she got.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, we get it. Like, stop. Stop. You're so annoying. Why are you introducing yourself as Percy's lawyer in this will reading? That makes no sense. And then how she's like, I like the law. It's black and white. I don't like murky water. I was like, what is that? What does law have anything to do with the lake, Chantal?
Okay, for what it's worth, I actually, out of all the characters, I like Chantal the most. I think that she had a lot of really funny one-liners that I laughed at.
I do agree with that.
It was good. But yeah, the whole lawyer thing, it's like, okay, we get it. You're obsessed with your work. Sure. The whole idea like, oh, law is black and white. That's why I like law. And then at the very end being like, I've realized that the law is not black and white, and therefore I'm okay with murky water. I was like, what?
What the fuck?
I was
Yeah.
really confused about that. I was
Isn't
like,
the whole point of law school to learn how to navigate the grayness of the law?
exactly. I feel like as a lawyer, you know that the law is not black and white because
Yeah.
otherwise there would be no point to lawyers.
Truly, truly. Like, that's something that non-lawyers might think, that the law is black and white.
Yeah.
But
Oh my
anyone in
gosh.
the justice system understands.
Uh okay, anyway. And then anyway, so like there was this whole like contrived situation where Chantal was basically like, I'm stuck in Barry's Bay because of this passport issue. But then as soon as the will reading is done, Chantal's like, okay, let's go home, I guess. It's like, wait, what? What about your passport?
Bruh.
I'm so confused.
So confusing. Also, why did her fiance like push her to go to Canada so hard?
Was also very confused by that. I was like, why are you saying okay, actually, number one, this is another big difference with the book. Chantal never goes to Barry's Bay. Yeah, it's just like
Okay.
it's not a thing that happens.
But she's a character in the book.
Yeah, she is a character, but yeah, she never goes to Barry's Bay with Percy.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's very strange. And then, yeah, I think in the first episode where Drew was like, Chantal, you could just drive her. You have Zoom. Like, oh, and she's like, oh, I have a big deposition. Like, phone it in, girl. Like, Drew,
Yeah.
excuse me.
I know. I thought that they were teasing that he wants her out because he's cheating on her or something. I thought there was like why otherwise why would he push for her to like leave the country so hard?
Yeah, and like volunteer her to drive. Who knows? I don't even know how far Seattle is from British Columbia, but it can't
It's
be
not
like
that far.
oh, okay. Is it like
I think it's a 2-hour drive to the border, and then depending on where in British Columbia it is, it's like another
let's
probably
look
1
this
to
up
2 hours.
because one difference with the Subbride Turned Pretty and this show is that Barry's Bay is actually a real place.
Oh,
Cousins Beach is not.
Oh, okay. What? Okay, Barry's Bay in real life is in Ontario, not in British Columbia. It's on the East Coast. It's near New York.
Interesting. Okay, so let's assume that Barry's Bay is like maybe near Vancouver, I guess.
Yeah.
So that would
That's
be
like a
okay.
3-ish, 3-4 hour drive.
Okay, okay. I see this place called Victoria. Maybe it's near Victoria. Victoria, British
Yeah.
Columbia.
I don't think it was
Good.
Victoria because it didn't seem like there was a ferry situation. You would need a ferry to get to Victoria.
Whoa.
To me, it seemed
Okay.
mainland, but like outside of Vancouver. Yeah.
Where is the closest lake in British Columbia that is drivable from Seattle? Oh, there's a Fraser River in British Columbia. That's cool. Maybe that's why
Oh,
her
that's
last name
cool.
is Fraser.
Maybe.
Okay, anyway, let's assume it's like a 3-hour drive-ish
Sure. Yeah.
from Seattle to British Columbia, and they're not driving across the country because I would immediately break up with someone if they were like, you could just do a quick 13-hour plus drive from one side of the I know it'd be way more than that, right? Barry's Bay, Ontario from Seattle.
Oh, that would be like 40 hours, probably.
Yeah, Google Maps is taking quite a while to Yeah, it's 40 hours, yeah. You
Okay.
can take a quick 40-hour drive from the West Coast to the East Coast.
Oh my God.
I would be like, do you hate me? Do you actually hate me? Because that's what that sentence sounded like.
I have another question. Why did they include the random subplot that her mom is now gay?
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about that. Yeah,
Did
that
not
was
address that at all.
That was wild.
Like, oh, by the way, her parents are divorced and now the mom's gay.
Maybe we'll hear more in like future seasons.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there are a lot left unsaid, this plot point being one of them, because the showrunner wanted to leave the story open for definitely a season 2. But I think she's also said that she wants there to be 5 seasons of this show.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Which I think is why there's like a lot of teasers and Easter eggs about things.
Mm.
And maybe this is one of them. Speaking of Easter egg, there is actually one thing that book readers saw. So did you think it was weird that Charlie's boss had a picture of the 3 of them on his wall?
Yes! I was like, dude, pull the picture off the wall and see who took it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the Easter egg is that the person who took that picture, her name is Alice, and she is actually Charlie's love interest in future seasons or future books.
Okay.
But yeah.
Interesting. Okay, speaking of that scene, why do you think Charlie had a panic attack?
Yeah, that's a good question. Poetically, I think it's because actually this doesn't make any sense. I think it was more like, oh, because the person who took the picture is Alice, and so he's having a reaction, like metaphorically.
His soulmate.
Yes, exactly. Like, oh, there's some connection here with this photograph. But I think just speaking in terms of the plot itself, I think it was like we had such a good thing going on here, and like now there's like so much baggage, and like it just feels like everything's
Like,
all
I
messed
ruined
up.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's what it was. But yeah, Charlie and Alice, stay tuned. If there's a season 2, maybe we'll see
All right.
more of that. But also I thought it was weird because wasn't it? Oh, no, never mind. It was the boss's wife picked it up in British Columbia at some art fair. Not that she herself took the picture, which I thought would be weird.
Oh no. Also, this was just like a microfeminism moment that I had when his boss was like, if you ever want to get a drink, let me know, because I got 3 kids at home and a tired wife. I was like, bro, help your wife.
Oh my
What
God,
the fuck?
Same. I was like, go home to your wife, dude. But maybe that was...
You know why your wife is so tired? Because you have your peace in the office, and this poor woman is at home with your 3 kids.
Because she is literally single parenting 3 children under the age of 6.
Oh my God, that made me so mad.
In the writer's defense, I feel like that probably wasn't intentional. thing that
Yeah.
he said, like, oh, all finance bros are like POSs, so, we can just make him say this crazy line about hating his wife and kids and like not wanting to go home ever.
Okay, fair. It was intentional rage bait.
I think so.
Okay,
I
okay.
hope so.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell because then Charlie was like, "Yeah, sounds good."
Yeah, like, why didn't Charlie say anything? I was half expecting Charlie to be like, "Go home, dude. Go home to your family." But instead he was like, "Yeah, man, that makes sense."
Yeah, totally, totally,
Yeah,
totally.
I was like, "Okay, so we've got 2 POSs here." Also, like, unlikable characters. Everyone in this show is unlikable,
Mm.
except for Chantal sometimes.
I like Jordy.
And Jordy, that's true. Jordy was good.
Yeah.
So who do you actually ship with Jordy?
I don't actually know if I ship him with either of the two women that he's kind of set up to be with. Because I feel like Chantal just wouldn't. I think they want very different things out of life. And like, it's kind of, they were teasing that, like, oh, he teaches Chantal how to like have some balance. And then, but I just feel like he wants a quiet life and she has big ambitions. And I don't think they would work in the long term. Him with Delilah. I just don't think we've seen enough with them. Like, he obviously cares for her and she opens up to him, but that's really all we've seen. So, I don't know. I don't know if I ship either. What about you?
Hmm. I think I do like the Jordy Chantal situation more because I feel like Jordy could bring the balance to Chantal. And I feel like there's too much baggage between Jordy and Delilah.
Yeah, I feel like he'll always feel like her second choice or even third
Yeah.
choice at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, going back to Chantal, so why did she and Drew break up? I mean, I assume it's because she has feelings for Jordy, but then we never saw how they did that or like no, there's no like response. It was just like a time skip and it's like, "Oh, they're broken up and she's dating
Yeah.
Jordy now."
Well, I think, okay, in the motel, when she tells him that she almost kissed someone, he says, okay, that's fine. Like, it's fine. We can definitely move past that. It's not like you actually did anything. And then she's clearly trying to show that there's more to it than that. And then I thought at the end of that, it was pretty clear that they were not going to stay together. And he was just like, okay, what are you saying? You don't want to get married? And she was like, yeah, I don't think I do. I think the whole summer was supposed to show that she really wants her independence and he's trying to mold her into something she's not.
Yeah. I guess it feels weird that there are so many moments in this show where the most dramatic moment happens off screen.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. I know other shows that do that. Like Gilmore Girls is also a great example of that, where they rarely show something huge and dramatic happening. Like, for example, the car accident that Rory and Jess get into is actually never shown on camera. The fire at the inn is never actually shown on camera. It's just all these things that someone gets a phone call and finds out about. So I do think it's a style, definitely a choice. And I think in a show like this that's so blatant with other stuff, it was a weird choice to not show some things. But I know in some shows they like to just kind of like focus on the small moments and then make the big moments off screen. I just don't think this show is actually very consistent with that.
Yeah. I guess the my counterpoint to that is that in Gilmore Girls, it feels like these are all more environmental conflicts. Like it's like a huge fire at the inn or like it's a car accident versus in this show, it's more interpersonal. So it's about people
Mm,
revealing information to each other that they previously hadn't known, which
that's
should
true.
result in a dramatic moment, but it doesn't because we just never see it.
Okay, I guess there are also some examples of that in Gilmore Girls. Like when Lorelai ends her engagement to this one guy, Max, that happens completely off screen. Just 1 minute she's at her bachelorette party, the next minute she's like, Rory, let's pack up and go. The wedding's not happening. And you never see
Whoa.
Max's reaction. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, then I
So
agree. Then it's like a
definitely
style.
Yeah, it's a definitely a choice. And I guess Gilmore Girls wasn't always consistent with that, but it just felt like in this show, I wouldn't say the show had the highest quality writing and so yeah, you would just expect that for a show this explicit with most things, they would include the most explicit dialogue as well.
Okay, my other counterpoint to your example is that I think maybe in this instance, or like this instance of Gilmore Girls, the whole show is about Rory and Lorelai.
Mm,
So other people's dramatic reactions to their actions are it feels like they were saying are inconsequential truly to the whole plot of the Gilmore Girls storyline.
that
But I
is true.
think in this instance, for every year after, it truly is about these characters who are integral to the story. It's not just
Yeah.
about like a pair. And even if it is just about a pair, we didn't see that moment where he finds out this huge piece of information, which does feel like it has been driving the plot and it's been driving the relationships of so many people for so many years. The
Mm,
fact that we didn't get to see the reaction and it was off screen and it was even more so that they changed the plot of the book too. They changed the plot of the book to have it happen during this time period where the audience can actually see it. And then they didn't even show us that.
yeah, weird choice. Such a weird choice.
So strange. Man. Okay, I don't know if there's anything else for me to talk about, but I wrote down in my notes the insinuations are driving me crazy and the whiplash time is driving me crazy.
Oh my god. Okay, speaking of the time jumps, which we know Ruchi loves a time card, so at least they were pretty consistent with those. Um, I hated that the only difference in any of their appearances between teenagers and like late 20s is one single braid going down Percy's hair. I was like, this is the only indication we have? This little braid?
I think her hair was a little bit longer too. But yes, I agree. I was hunting for that braid. I was like, I need to know what is the year? What is the time?
What year is it?
I think at a certain point, I was like, okay, I'm just going to focus on outfits. And then if there's a new outfit, I'm just going to guess. Maybe then I'll look for the braid.
Like none of the boys had a different haircut.
I think Sam had slightly longer hair in his younger years. And
Okay.
then in modern day, it was like a little bit shorter and like kind of coiffed more.
That
But
was
yeah,
not dramatic enough for me to notice.
yeah, it was not. Man. I also felt like the actor, maybe this is just like the actor's appearance, but I just felt like he looked so young, even when he was 28, even when he was, I don't know, 16. It just
Yeah.
felt like he was the same age.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't think they looked their ages. I thought they all looked, well, I guess Charlie looked age appropriate for present day, but otherwise everybody looked like they were in their mid 20s, so it never looked accurate. Yeah.
Gotta hunt for that braid.
Also, I have a fun fact. Well, the fun fact is that I looked up all of their ages. So, Matt Cornett, who plays Sam, is actually 27 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So pretty
So,
accurate.
pretty accurate for present day. Sadie Severall, who plays Percy, is 24. Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what? Speaking of ages, do you remember that there is that scene uh where they're playing spin the bottle and Charlie is like, "Oh, Sam, if you don't want to kiss Percy, I'll kiss her." And then Percy like leans in to like kiss Charlie, and then Charlie is like, "Oh, just kidding. Haha, I'm not going to do it." Um so apparently, actually I don't really know exactly what happens in the book, but the reason that they did not kiss in the show is because the actress who plays younger Percy is, I think at the time, 17, while Carson McCormick the guy who plays Charlie in the flashbacks was 25. So that's why they did not kiss in the show.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Which I love that, because 10 years ago that would not be a thing. They would have
So
kissed.
true. So true. That reminds me of Pen 15, where anytime they showed Maya or Anna kissing anyone, it would always be just like they would like show them coming together, and then you would just see a zoomed in version of like two people making out, but you would never see their faces.
And it was so gross, but I love how they were so self-aware of it. Being like, yeah, we're not gonna kiss fucking 12-year-olds.
So good. My last fun age fact is that the actor for Charlie is actually younger than the actor for Sam,
That is very interesting.
only by a few months. So they're
Oh,
both 27, but I thought he looked way older than Sam.
I agree. I think he also looked older. Wow.
Yeah.
It just goes to show acting.
Acting.
My last question for you is, after watching this show, would you read the series?
Okay, yes, but not because of the show, more because our friend Jing so vehemently hates it that I want to read it just to understand why the book was so much more hateable. I know this book has a big fan base. I think this is a very specific to Jing thing, and maybe I will feel similarly because she and I are very similar people, but I just want to understand why she hates it so much.
Did she say why she hated it?
A little bit. I think she read it quite a while ago, so she didn't fully remember the reasons. She just said that like the reveal made no sense. It's also such a blatant ripoff of, what did she say? A, The Summer I Turned Pretty, and B, Love in Other Words. So I think that's also a book about a love triangle between two brothers and a family friend
This
girl.
freaking two brothers and one girl trope.
Yeah. So she said the similarities are glaring. And then she sacrificed the integrity of her own story. I think she being uh Carly Fortune. She sacrificed the integrity of her own story for a big twist because clearly she couldn't think of anything good enough to explain why they lost touch for however many years. Since she's uncreative and chose to go for shock value instead, she had Percy sleep with the older brother. I think it
Oh
sounds like in the
man.
book, like in the show, I thought the way they set up Percy deciding to sleep with Charlie made sense, but it sounds like in the book they didn't have that full context, and like Sam's breakup wasn't as like crazy over email and which we've talked about. So yeah,
Yeah. I think I would read the book. I think I want to see why the showrunner did certain things in the show, because it does seem like there is a vision here that we just haven't seen the full picture yet, so that's why we're questioning a
true.
lot of these choices. So I think I want to read the book to understand why the showrunner decided to put in things or not put in things, just to
Yeah,
have that understanding.
yeah.
Okay, great. Should we rate?
Let's do it. I think I would give quality a 3 out of 5, and enjoyment, gotta give it a 5 out of 5. I ate this show right up.
That is so surprising to me. I would give quality a I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. I was between a 2 and a 3. I'll give it a 3.
I was also between a 2 and a 3.
I think enjoyment, it's gonna be a 2 for me.
She
I'm so
hates the teen
sorry.
dramas.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. But this is why I want to read the book, because I know that there is a fan base, and I feel like I'm doing it a disservice if I solely judge a book by its book adaptation.
Fair, fair. Yeah, we gotta know the original material.
Yeah. And I mean, who's to say? I feel like there are some people who really love the books who hated the show. So I think there's a strong fan base out there who's super upset about the show. But Yappers, if you have read the book series, and if you like it, the show, if you hated the show, let us know.
Yeah, we want to know your thoughts.
Yeah. And I will give this a if I were to put my rating in terms of a food, it would be an ice cream that has been licked all over by someone who I kind of know, but not like I don't want them licking like my ice cream like that. That's what it's felt like.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I got it. I got it. I see the vision.
Great.
Great.
Okay, binge in progress. Time for us to talk about things that we're watching outside of this show.
I can go first. The only thing I have really been binge watching outside of this show is the window of my bedroom. Okay, yappers, for context. I live in San Francisco. Outside my apartment complex, there's this huge outdoor staircase that runs kind of between the two buildings of the complex. It's this huge staircase, like really beautiful. On Friday night at 1 a.m., I woke up to some noises coming from the courtyard, which is not unusual, but it was like really loud noises, loud enough for my dog to wake up as well. So I go to the window and I see there is a car stuck on the staircase of my complex. And the driver is like trying to push it, but it's just kind of stuck between the flat section of the staircase and the tilted section. And so I stayed there for like an hour. And yappers, some of you may know, I really value my sleep. But I was up for like 3 hours just watching this happen in the middle of the night. The cops came. They asked him why he drove down the stairs, which was hilarious to watch. Couldn't tell if he was drunk. Eventually a tow truck came, pulled the car off of the stuck position and onto the stairs, and then the tow truck driver just got in the car and drove it down the rest of the way. Anyway, it was insane. I saw some of my neighbors across the way also watching and taking videos. Maybe, Ruchi, I can send you the videos if you want to post it on our socials or something.
I would love to.
It was just crazy to witness. So anyway, that's that. I would consider that a binge watch because I was stuck to my window watching this all go down.
And the stairs are now unfortunately ruined, right?
Yeah, all the concrete is crumbling off. It looks horrible.
That is so sad.
So
Wow.
irresponsible.
Well, I feel like I cannot top that for my binge in progress. And so, yappers, if you're wondering, if you're watching the video and you're wondering why my background is different, that is because I'm actually filming this from Shalini's apartment. Wait, I'm gonna go to your frame. Yeah. I'm struggling to open the door.
I'm leaving all of this in.
Thanks for yapping with us.
Should I stop?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for yapping with us. If you loved this episode, have some hot takes we missed, or if you've got a show you're dying for us to binge next, follow us on socials. We're at bingeyaprepeat.
Until next time, happy binging!